Chelsea, can you hear us okay?
Sure can.
Right, thanks. Oh, good.
Hi.
Perfect.
June, maybe
Over there?
this.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi. How are you guys? I do not. Wasn't sure what room you guys were in. Oh, so sorry.
All right, should we call it to order?
All right, it's 5:47. Roll call, Martin Gilmore.
Here?
Oh, Chair Martin Gilmore.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Carol Conrad. Here. Reese Adams. Here. Amy Fox.
Here.
Stacy Potish.
Here.
Councilmember Chelsea Nunekamp.
Present.
And guests, we have Lindsay Renyon, Executive Director, Greater Inglewood Chamber of Commerce.
Here.
And excused, we have Leah Moran, excused, and Emily Ancona, Inglewood Public Schools, excused. Absent, we have alternate member Monica Alvarez. And staff, we have Director Christina Underhill, Library and Cultural Arts Manager Bethany Lafferty, and Event Supervisor Tony Arnoldi. Thank you.
All right, Lindsay, I know you have a place to be, so would you like to go first?
Oh, please. Thank you so much. Well, thank you guys for letting me come here and take a few minutes of your time to talk about some upcoming events that the chamber is wanting to do this year. I was fortunate enough to meet with Reese and Kyle at the end of last year to discuss some of these opportunities. So I'm here today basically to run through what that could look like and potentially what the chamber would like to request of your commission in terms of time, effort, and some funding. So the first one up is the chamber pop-up lounge concept. So this would be essentially a pop-up lounge that would be part of adjacent to the block party on the same day, same time, all of those things. This would be a ticketed event, possibly featuring like a specialty cocktail, maybe served in a specialty glass or commemorative glass to take home with you. We kind of see this as, you know, fun loungy furniture, great lighting. Maybe there's a red rope, you know, and the part that I would be most interested in talking with you all about is activating the space just a little bit more by maybe having some chalk artists. And so that is essentially what you're seeing in some of these photos here.
Where's it gonna be?
So we are still looking at locations. We are working with Tony and the EDDA to kind of look at some spots that could be activated in terms of alleyways or parking lots. We don't want to get too far off the beaten path. You know, we want to be somewhat visible so people are, you know, their interest is piqued essentially. So I think there's a couple of spots that we can pursue. One being kind of behind the Breakfast Queen and adjacent to where the Oars trading post used to be. That's one idea. Like I said, we don't want to get too far off the beaten path. When Kyle and I met recently, we talked a little bit about, well, what if the alleyway next to Devil's Head was activated? And although that could be a really fun spot in the future, I think it's a little bit too off the beaten path for the actual block party. So, and I'd be happy to, you know, report back to you all on some of those ideas and where specifically it would be once we get a little more settled with the idea.
Is the block party gonna go down past the same location as it was last year, a little bit further up Broadway? Cool.
One idea that I think could be really interesting would be actually where Tony had the food trucks last year on the 3300 block. You know, what if a section of that space was activated, you know, with some, you know, ropes or temporary fencing so that it was like you still saw it and you're kind of like, oh, what's going on over there? And it would be visible. And if we made it still kind of, you know, fun and bougie and had a like a kitschy vibe, I think it would be great. So that's an idea if we can't find a great alleyway or parking lot to activate.
And I think because last year we learned we just shut down half of that extended block, but we had to shut down the traffic for the whole block. So we even talked at our wrap-up meeting last year, might as well use that whole, if we're gonna have that second block, we might as well use it. So that might be a perfect idea, to like push the food trucks or on the opposite side even, so that like it really draws people back, and then having direction to say, check out the VIP lounge and
Especially if it's already closed.
Right.
Why not? Yeah.
I think it'd be so fun and kind of an adults area,
Mhm.
Like Anna Delvey said, VIP is always better.
Yeah.
not to take away from the block party, of course.
Of course not. No, the lounge is meant to be a compliment
Yeah.
to the block party.
No, I will be in the lounge if you can't find me.
No problem, you're a VIP. So that's that idea. And then I kind of have, a preliminary budget set up here. When I spoke with Kyle last week, we talked a little bit about possibly the idea of chalk artists being around $1,000. So you'll see that indicated towards the bottom. I don't know if that's 2 chalk artists both doing a fun, drawing, or maybe it's just one and maybe that person's just 500. I'm not sure exactly what that would look at. I look to you guys more because of your involvement with local artists, that you probably have a better concept and idea of what those costs would be.
That's what it cost last time. We did it.
Okay.
We sponsored a chalk artist. in the past.
The reason I asked to where the location would be is when we've done chalk in the past, it's gotten unfortunately drug into like restaurants and stuff. And so I wanted to make sure that we were
yeah.
able to keep some of the,
Well, then that would be ideal because there would not be any active shops or restaurants open on that block.
Yeah,
To
And it's
drive.
also not including children in that area. Which
That's true.
Change the dynamic that we've had previous.
Yes, no kids
maybe-
can grab
maybe
chalk.
cocktails, maybe not.
Reese's out there smashing chalk.
So that's the first concept. Do you want to do any questions now or go
I
on?
think let's go through the mural.
Okay.
Because that's really important, especially for this group. So let's go over that and then come
Okay.
to this.
So just to give you guys a little bit of background about Murals and Mason Jars, we've done it twice. The first year was simply a community event. It was, kind of in the middle of COVID, just to get people out of their homes, walking around, obviously practicing social distancing. It was a great way for the restaurants, to encourage traffic back into their establishments by giving away gift cards and, fun coupons, things like that. So the second year, which was this past year, we kind of skipped a year. If you count it up, it was more like 16 or 18 months, but so last year we had some changes. We had a base camp area set up with live mural painting. So the old Hope building, which is now Blue Tile Gallery space, they were completing a mural that correlated at the same time as the event. We still gave away prizes. However, people could earn tickets based on how many murals they visited. The tickets went into a bowl, and then every 30 minutes or so, we drew prizes. So not every single person won, but hopefully people won, multiple times. We also had a DJ, we had a food truck, and we had about 6 artisan craftsman booths. And so we would like to do that again this year. And we really thought it would be wonderful to add a contest for activating a mural. And I have been speaking with the owner of Felt Bar, which is on the corner of Acoma and Floyd. Yes, that drawing right there. And if you've never seen this building, I'm sure you have, but if you never have, it's almost perfectly framed to have a series of murals, like year after year. And he had actually approached me during Murals and Mason Jars, this past October and said, how do I, get on a list to get a mural? And I said, oh, well, hey, I don't have a list, but I love your enthusiasm. Let me work on this. And so just some early conversations with Reese and Kyle, they liked the idea. And you all were so successful at putting together the Swedish horse, the contest, part of it. And I would really be looking to you guys to be putting out the call for entries, during the selection of the artist. And then after talking with Kyle and Reese, I really was unaware of, costs of mural, and they indicated, 6 to 10 grand for a portion of, like one of those walls. The chamber does not have the funding for that. So I would be looking to you guys to help with compensation for the artist. I do believe that we can get some sponsorship for the paint, for sure, for the wall itself. And then obviously I still have to do the other side of the event. So if I'm able to get an additional sponsor or two beyond what I need in order to make the event function properly, then I would push that towards the artist as well. So the event is in October. We usually do it the first or second week. That seems to be a good spot because it's after the block party. It's before weather has gotten really crazy. We've been really fortunate with good weather the last 2 times that we did it. And then as far as the base camp goes, the EDDA, I've met with them and they had tentatively agreed to give us some funding towards the event. And one of their things, that they would like to see happen is for the base camp to be more central. So we did it, further down South Broadway last time. So perhaps, we have the opportunity to activate Felt's parking lot, or maybe even, the overflow lot from Wells Fargo. Or maybe, we incorporate more energy with, Devil's Head and Sunroom, and maybe they get on board as well. Maybe that's an opportunity to activate that alleyway again. So I think the
Or activate that
potential
street in a different
is,
way.
I'm sorry.
Or activate that street, you know?
Yeah, activate the street. I mean, that's where Tony gets involved, because I don't want to knock down the street, but we'll see. I guess if alcohol's not being served on the street, we would probably be in better shape.
I mean, closing the street's closing the street. There's just no easy way to slice it, but we can do it, obviously. We close Broadway on a Saturday
Yeah.
here, right?
I mean, at least that's not a huge street, to
No,
shut down.
definitely.
Yeah, so, and I think we could, do some negotiations with Wells Fargo for off-street parking or King Supers. If we were to shut down and activate that street, that would be amazing. I mean, I'd love to have kind of the unveiling or finishing touches being put on that mural, like on that day, like as part leading up to Murals and Mason Jars itself. And if you're not familiar, if you scroll down just a little bit further, I did include like a poster from last year for y'all to see, and the map of the actual, all the spots. And, that changes every year. We add a few more here and there, new murals pop up. So that gives you an idea of all the spots that are activated. So it does extend from the 2700 block of South Broadway to the 4600 block of South Broadway. And we also include the Wellness District area in that. And Tony was a great participant last year. I think she got tons of tickets.
Yeah, I still have all my pictures.
And then, yeah, included some photos. So we did do a branded mason jar where folks could, purchase their ticket to. So you could you could hang out and go visit the murals, but if you wanted to earn prizes, you paid $10 to participate. And if you wanted a commemorative glass, you paid $18, I believe. And then several bars and restaurants on the list, I think we had 14, offered $1 off if you showed your mason jar. And that was for that Saturday and also the Sunday if they were open. So we did not have any alcohol in sight. And honestly, I think it made things a lot easier. I mean, the chamber may have been able to make more money if we had an alcohol sponsor or a booth, but I like the idea of people staying within our community and going to these businesses and spending that gift card they just won and getting $1 off their beer. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Can I answer any questions about murals and mason jars?
What are you looking for the sponsorship? Do you have an amount?
For you guys, I was hoping that we could talk about something around 5,000, which would literally be going to the artist. And then your help in actually facilitating the contest. And also, the selection of the artist. My only thing would be, that I would love, if we decide that this is gonna work and we want to do felt, I would want him to have an opportunity, obviously to weigh in on what those parameters would be.
Does he own the building?
He does.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then I think, him being part of the selection process too
Totally.
would be ideal. Yeah, and he loves the idea, and he loves the idea of it, continuing to be a contest. So,
Does he or you have any themes in mind at this point, or are you pretty like any kind of mural, or do you have ideas of what you want it to be?
he said it could be more, Inglewood based. It could have like some history type elements. He said, I'm not looking for like, pool hall pictures and an 8-ball or anything. So, but that was a conversation we had a couple weeks ago. So he may have some other new ideas. So I think the next steps would be really just sitting down with him and kind of getting a feel for some of his thoughts. So. All right.
I guess, when do we need these decisions made? I guess if it's October is when the,
Yeah, because if you want to give an artist at least a month, if not longer, to paint.
Yeah.
Well, design too. They have to draw up a design. We've got to give them time and then decide on the design and then prep all that stuff.
So do you recall how much time you gave Swedish Horses for the call for entries? Was it a month or 3 weeks or?
I want to say it was at least a month, if not
at least
2 months.
Okay.
Maybe 6 weeks. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
a month.
It was more than a
Okay.
month.
Yeah, so probably time is of the essence then.
Uh-huh.
this is a little more straightforward than that Swedish Horses
It
thing
is.
was. There are probably more people willing to conquer a mural than, here's these horses you need to paint. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Right.
wrong.
There was a challenge for sure.
Okay.
Not that a blank wall isn't a challenge, trust me.
And that, I
No.
think that first part, if I remember right, is that first part the largest of the?
Actually, the first 4 are the same and it's the very last one that's the smallest.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're big.
Mhm.
It's a big space.
But I think it would serve, there's a lot of cool businesses right on that strip. So it's not just serving felt, like that would be serving that street, because there's not a lot of aesthetically pleasing things right there. And I really feel like for the businesses and everybody and people who drive by to King Supers, it just
Mhm.
brings people into that area maybe in a new way.
And I think too, that's, the easiest route to city center. At least that's the route I always use. So
Mhm.
it's like, think of how many people are turning on Floyd to go to city center and it's like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think as far as visibility, it's a really, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what time are we at?
Like 6
Look at that, 6:05.
Yeah.
I was thinking 6:15, so.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun, Lindsay.
What'd you say?
I said time flies when you're having fun.
Totally.
Okay. Thanks.
Great. So, please reach out with any questions. If I can be available, for a conversation or whatever, let me know. So, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you for letting me take the first part of your meeting too. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for framing that. That was helpful.
All right. Well,
What's your next meeting?
back, Elevate Inglewood, I'm presenting. See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Do you want me to shut this?
No, you can.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Well, should we move on to old business?
You want to
Maybe?
approve the minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, the minutes, I'm sorry. We jumped straight into it. Okay, we need to approve. Can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve them.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
All opposed? All right. Now move on to being an art call. Read it.
The only thing I have, is that I sent out a packet to Ned's like, was not fancy, it was a Word document, but it had all of the submissions on it. And I think we probably would want to figure out did we figure out a voting mechanism for like whittling it down to so we had so many submissions that like, we didn't want Public Works to have to go through all of them. So they said it would be helpful if we can get it down to 6. And that way, well, I suggested 6 because we have 3 pads, and if for some reason the art isn't available when we go to secure it, or an artist isn't available for some reason, we have backup pieces. But if we could select 6, Public Works can look at it, make sure it fits the bill for main traffic flow. And then after that, we narrow it down again to the final 3. Does that sound like okay, yeah. I was like, we had a lot of submissions and of all different types and budgets, and so I think that seems like a fair way to narrow it down. But yeah, so I guess at some point we just need to.
Do you guys feel comfortable that you could rate your top 6, like 1 through 6? Because I think if you rate, by like 1 through 10, we could end up with a lot of ties.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then if you guys could submit, I could send you a form.
Okay.
Rate your top 6, send that back to me, and then I'll just, keep
I looked through them. I looked through them all today, again, and kind of just made notes about the ones I liked. But some of them will take the entire budget, and some of them,
That's right.
But some of
and some of them that are inexpensive are also maybe not ideal for that spot. Like they're good, I like them, but it's like they might just blend in to the background,
I was,
and nobody would see them.
I was wondering that as well. Like some of them looked, I don't want, the word that comes to mind is almost too delicate or
Mm-hmm.
flimsy for where they're going to be around traffic. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know if they met what we were asking for, and maybe they did, but they almost seem like they belong more in like yard or garden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
I whittled it down by essentially size and budget so that we knew and type, but so that we could just, because we had like 700 that didn't fit, maybe not that many, but quite a few that were like
Not even.
exceeded or didn't meet the guidelines. So, but we do have, I think we have some that are definite contenders.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you don't mind sending out a form, we could just.
Can you remind me how close the pads are together? Just because it would be,
They're not.
they're not,
close.
okay.
They're like
So
on
like
different
having,
blocks.
Like a block apart.
okay,
Yeah.
so having 3 completely different art pieces
Would be-
is totally fine.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about like kind of guidelines that maybe we should talk about of things to think about, I guess, for that art that, like, it's super high traffic volume there. Sometimes the traffic's going really fast, sometimes it's not going fast, sometimes it stands still. But it has like there's a lot of signs and a lot of kind of, I don't know, like not old town type buildings, just like box store type buildings there. And so like what can stand out from all that stuff? Oh, and then of course, the traffic distractions, but Public Works will tell us all that. And then, I don't know, I was thinking about like, how do we tie it in with placemaking? We have the grass on Broadway. What, do we want to stick with the same kind of style of stuff that all the gateways to Englewood kind of have that or not? Those are concerns too. Notes that I made for myself. Yeah. Did anybody have notes on any of those? Did you look at them closely?
The only question that I had, and I don't know, Christine, if you know this immediately, but what would Public Works, I included them just to be safe, but what do they think about having animals? Because there are some like bronze animals. Is that problematic to have in a main, like, area? Like if you have a deer in the middle of the road, is that going to be, you know what I mean? Because they're really neat, but like right off the bat, I included them just to be safe, but.
I don't know. That's definitely a call they'll make. I think if people drive this same street day after day, they'll get used to it. It's that initial, like, are they gonna slam their brakes on because they think there's a deer on the
Yeah,
field?
no.
Maybe, I would.
Those were also very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
Yeah.
will.
30 grand each. I really like them, but I feel like they're kind of a mountain town.
Yeah.
Like they look really good in Evergreen. That's what we think. Well, that's my opinion.
Make sure this town of Evergreen is aware. that
I
they
love
have-
Evergreen, but you know, a moose in Evergreen makes sense. A moose in Englewood. I've never seen a moose down here.
Loose moose.
Anyway,
Mhm.
probably been one. Okay. Any other comments or action we need to take? Just,
So I guess if we can get that, if we can vote on that as quickly as possible, and then that'll give Public Works probably till our next meeting, so that then we can.
So we're sending Debbie our 6 choices as
So
soon as
I'll-
possible.
I'll send out tomorrow, just like an Excel kind of type sheet where you can rate.
Okay.
And then I'll send that out to you tomorrow. How long do you guys, I mean, is a week enough?
Yeah.
Is that too
Yeah.
long?
No.
No.
A week works, okay.
So
Yes.
say by end of day next Friday, submit them back, and then we'll submit to Public Works, the top 6 on Monday morning to get that review process started. So we were ready to at least let you all know, did that top 6 pass Public Works review? Or do we need to look at them again and go back to the drawing board?
Right. Cool, thank you.
Thanks.
all right. The other thing on the agenda is the murals, like Lindsay just talked about. And I was just thinking about the timeline. If we're gonna do a contest, how long is it gonna take us to get applications and decide? We need to approve the contest for a month, let it run for a month, and then get it done. So, you know, the painters need, we need to have somebody selected by August, I would say. That gives them 2 months to paint, which means we probably by May need to decide on the contest stuff. It's next month. We need to get that going and have the call approved for artists and all that stuff. How did we do that for Swedish Horses? I don't remember how we had people submit. Was it-
It was through an online application process, and the city collected, we had like a form, and then they could submit like a picture if they wanted.
Right, and we just did a call the same way.
Yeah.
Did we do any incentives around that? Sorry, Debbie.
Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
I said, did we do any incentives around the Swedish Horse? Because I know for some of our calls, we've done incentives to get good.
Mhm.
Does-
That one was, it was $1,000 per horse, which was budgeted for the initial, within the initial project. But I think the incentive here would just, I guess, be
That you get it,
that you
that
get.
we didn't do anything extra on top of it. Okay.
No, I see what you're saying. To
You
like
know-
to submit.
Yeah, I remember how
no.
sometimes for designs, we've
Yeah.
done like
Mm-hmm.
a little incentive to get
Mhm.
people to submit good designs. I know for some, but
So next month, we're also going to have our communications department come to the meeting. They are hoping you guys can help them with the mural. Also, what they're wanting is more just your knowledge in the process, and also help finding a muralist. So
For a separate mural?
me now.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that's something to consider as maybe like you're going to be putting out, you know, requests for muralists for this one. There'll also be that one. They're looking at, right now, trying to determine a location, but I think they're looking at more mural that, you know, the ones where people can take a picture.
Yeah.
Or somebody standing
Selfie
against
station.
the wall type things.
We might do a call for artists for 3 murals, because we also want to do Santa Fe and Dartmouth, and that's like the welcome to Inglewood type thing. So we could specify, we need one that's more like photo, like the wings.
Photo ready.
Yeah, photo ready. And then one that's kind of whatever you want to come up with, this is the location it will be. And then we'll have one that's more of a gateway mural. So it might be worth to do a call for 3, and they check whichever box that they're interested in, submit the artwork based off of whatever they've chosen. So they could go for all 3. And then we can talk about it with communications, but what's the cost for each of,
Exactly.
you know, for the one that Lindsay's asking for, would you say 6 to 10,000? We're asking, probably would start at 6 and see what we can get. And then for these others, we can kind of look at those and talk through it, see how much those would be. So we can knock out three murals in one request, potentially.
I mean,
And then we also have a database of potential future murals, if they're looking at 5 years out or 4 years out.
Right.
The one wall.
Yeah.
We might get some really cool stuff. We're like, we can't fund you this year, but you're on deck for next year.
Yeah.
Are we gonna run the contest every year then? or the-
I don't think we should commit to that yet.
No,
I don't
we
think
do
we should
year
commit.
one.
But I do think Lindsay was hoping that maybe we would be on board, but I don't.
That's a big financial commitment on an annual basis. That's like half the budget, like what we
That's
normally get.
all, that's all the budget of
Yep.
murals plus some that
Yep.
we set aside. So that's not, it's the full budget of the community projects.
And communications has funding, and Santa Fe and Dartmouth has funding outside of what you all see here, so.
Okay.
Don't stress too much about it. So now it's more or less just a sponsorship for the murals at the mason jars.
And I know EDDA is also going to be helping them also.
Shoot, I mean, depending upon what they do. If they even match it, well, we'll see.
They come next month.
There.
And next month's gonna be,
Loaded. You got
Yeah.
communications coming in, EDDA wants to present to you all as
Whoa,
well.
Swallow Hill wanted to come too. Okay,
And Swallow.
I'll pass, I'll ask them to come.
communication said it would only be about 20 minutes. And they're gonna come with just kind of like their proposal, kind of what they're looking for, that will be ready for us to send to muralists.
I think Swallow Hill could probably wait.
Could we hold off then on thinking about funding for chambers until we hear these other presentations, or
Those are funded.
those are, okay, so not.
So you're just gonna have to decide if you want to sponsor the mural for murals at mason jar, which you requested.
Which if we have to decide on, get like stuff set up for next month, I think we should probably decide if we're gonna spend money on it today.
I agree.
Oh, and the chalk artist too, that's what she said.
Yeah.
500 to 1,000.
That's
Well,
good.
and I mean, the chalk artist is interesting because we would do something interactive anyway.
Yeah, so that's maybe what you guys can decide that. That's a great idea.
And that was something I was thinking about, because I still want to support Tony on the block party, and I do think, what I loved last year that we sponsored was that we sponsored a booth that was very interactive for families.
Yeah.
What Lindsay needs is very interactive for adults, which is great, but those to me are two different things. And so like, I don't want to take away from the cool interactive piece, like what we did last year. I still want to see something like that. I know it shouldn't be the same. It should be something cool and new, but I just want to make sure we have that like family art piece for the kiddos at the block party, because I just feel like there's not, it's pretty limited, and yet it's a party for everyone,
Totally.
so. I guess I'm trying to say I didn't want to switch the funding over just to chambers out of that 1,000.
I put together a list of potential events for this coming year, the block party being one of them.
And we put 1,000, right?
Yeah, but the block party is in September, August 26th. Oh, I have it written here. It's on my Excel spreadsheet. Ooh, all right. But I did say that like, if we wanted to do something for the block party, we probably need to think about it also by the next meeting, because we'll have to approve funding, put out another call for that. So we're kind of in call overload. Because if we do it in May, if we approve it in May, by the time we get a call out June, take somebody in July essentially, and they'll have a month to.
Yep.
They'll have a month. So I agree. Maybe we shouldn't divert too far off that. Should we go ahead and talk about the mural for the chamber first?
Yes.
Knock that out.
Didn't we already talk about putting maybe 4,000 aside for a mural for this year?
Yes. 1,000 for artist engagement. She's asking for 5,000. So it'll be the full budget for this year.
The good news about this year is we have a little extra.
We have a little extra. Because that's just we've just divvied up what we receive every year into those different, so we have a little extra.
If I can also, I just thought of today, you do have the cost for the media and art call, you know, $2 each applicant or application.
Right.
So I have not gotten a bill for that,
Okay.
but
So it'd be like 1,500-1,600.
that's what
probably.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But I think we
I think
built,
we,
I think we built that into that.
yeah. I think that's okay. So that funding is coming from us and the city, so we have a good space there. Okay. I mean, I would vote to, I'd move to, support the murals in Mason Jar with a $5,000 support, and then also, then do the entry, the entry process and selection for the mural, and work obviously with the owner of Felt, but, for the chamber, I think murals been on the top of everybody's minds, and it's an event that we don't have to plan, so I think it's a good thing to support.
All right, so I have a motion to approve the $5,000 for the mural and take on the contest, the artist call. Can anybody second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Mural done.
You can make a sign and walk by Lindsay downstairs and let her know.
Yeah.
Approved, you win.
And then I was gonna make a suggestion for the block party. What if we did 700 for Lindsay and 700 for Tony? And had 2 booths, because I think it wasn't quite 1,000 for Lexus last year.
We paid, I mean,
It was.
Was it a full, oh, it was a full 1,000, okay. I was like, maybe we could not go as high.
The other thing that we had talked about just regarding that, the block party is the sponsorship for booths for the events. And I thought one of those included the block party. So that's, we have 2,000 set aside for that. For the sponsorships for all the events, including the block. That's something that we could probably pull money from in order to do that. And sponsor an interactive artist or sponsor a booth or.
What if we just sponsor the 2 because that supports 2 artists in town, getting their names out right now?
like $750 each or $1,000
Maybe
each.
1,000 each and just support 2 artists that night being at the event.
That's just 2,000 for the whole year, for all the events.
Well, but didn't we already have 1,000 set aside for Tony? So that would dip into
Oh.
the other 1,000 for
Okay. I understand.
Lindsay.
I understand.
I do like having some money that's left over for like musicians and that type of thing for other things, so I'm
We
a
have-
little hesitant.
We have
to
a music
2,000.
budget.
We
We have a music budget.
Okay.
So that's in there. as
Were you at that meeting where we had the budget breakdown? Was it last month?
well.
2 months ago?
Yes.
We had, yeah, we talked
February.
about February, yeah. Yeah, right. Budget breakdowns.
So if we took 1,000 from the booth sponsorships, then money we set aside for Tony, that would be okay. That would work. Where did we, I don't.
I mean, the
I
booth
don't know where we put
sponsorship,
the money.
yeah.
What do you think?
I was looking at my list here because we have potential booth sponsorships for the markets. The block party could be that. Also tree lighting in December or whatever we decide to do for that, or something interactive.
My other one hesitation is if any other group comes to us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I definitely like doing the interactive art for the block party. I think $1,000 for that is fair.
Mhm.
That includes artist fee plus supplies.
Well, can we motion on that to support Tony?
Mm-hmm.
So I motion to put 1,000 towards the block party for our interactive artist.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait, who seconded?
Huh?
Reese second.
Thank you.
All opposed?
Can we dig up our call from last year and resurrect that baby and just put a new date on it?
Yeah, no, that's easy.
Okay, okay.
So that's for Tony's thing, and we haven't approved the chalk artist. Is that correct?
Yeah,
No, I think we just, I mean, I hear, my worry is that like, I want to support the chambers and I think what the chambers is doing for Inglewood supports a lot of different businesses. So it obviously touches a lot of people and that's important. But supporting the mural feels pretty big. And so I don't want to reach in if another neighborhood group comes in or a school group comes in and they want that money for mural. We're kind of, so it's my one hesitation tonight.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about the chalk artist. I know it's great for that night, but it's just that night.
yeah.
Where the mural, if we're giving the full $5,000 to them, that's gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
And it's a permanent fixture, so I'm pretty hesitant on the 1,000 for the chalk artist.
I agree. But I wouldn't mind a booth sponsorship. We could still do that. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
That's $100 application fee, $100 block party fee, and a $25 license that you're gonna split. So that's 200.
Well, and that's the question for the sponsorships. Are we gonna to sponsor the full amount? Are we gonna do we sponsor a certain amount and then they?
True, or we could just do like a $200 sponsorship towards it and the artist can figure out if they want the $25 2-year license.
That we sponsor the event application and the booth fee and they can.
Yeah,
They'd say that friends and family waiver on the application.
Oh, really? Oh.
She knows.
I know people, I know a girl.
Well,
so
The
man,
booth
this is
fee.
getting, this budget's getting better and
Look at
better.
all this, look at all
So
these.
it's $100. Now we're at the block party fee of $100. And the $12.50 for the license.
Well, it will be $25 and then I'll have to take it off because they'll have to pay the $25 to tax and licensing for the license.
Okay.
So one more logistical question, would we post this as a grant opportunity for artists for the booth? So we do a call for, not a call for artists, but like a grant opportunity of party sponsorship if you're interested in selling your art. So we'd have to plan on putting that out into the community, right, to apply.
We have a lot.
So we could,
It's gonna be content heavy.
well, we can figure that out. How many? Sorry, Tony, I have this written down somewhere, but you probably know it on the top of your head. How many events do we have? Booths at? Just,
That you can have booths at?
that we would maybe want to have artists.
We have,
Markets.
I have that. Celebrate Englewood, we're not gonna be able to do that because that's too quick. We have one market in May, one market in July, one market in August.
No, it should be a market in June, July, and August. Or is our summer concert, or is our summer market series? The only thing in
Oh, yeah.
May is Celebrate Inglewood on May 6th.
Oh, yeah, I must have the wrong date. Okay, so yeah, June, July, August,
Which is the block party.
which is the block, well, there is the block party in addition to that. And then tree lighting. Okay, what do we want to do for that?
Okay, that's it.
5 booths. 5.
Well-
Is there more that you would want artists to have?
Well, No, I can wait till my turn to talk, but we're looking at adding something that you may or may not be interested in. Okay. But it's, they can have, if they wanted to have it.
So I don't remember where we put the $1,000 for Tony's event, in what section of the budget? Is that oh, maybe I do. Oh, for sponsorships, there we go. Good. So for the arts, for the block party, we pulled $1,000 from that, is that correct? Okay, so we have 1,000 left. So if we did two artists in June, if we were just covering the booth fee and the tax fee, then we could have two artists, 100, 300,
Mhm.
block party. We could sponsor two artists there for 100 each, $500, $600.
Mhm.
That we could, so we could do 6 of those.
And then we have the tree lighting market.
Yeah, that's the last one. So and that still gives us a little money left for a couple of
Mhm.
Does that sound reasonable? And then
Yeah.
Tony says there's another. So
I think we'll just have to manage that, like maybe we do, one call for all
For all markets, like,
Okay.
apply for this, a special date.
Yeah.
And how many we have for each.
And 2 per market, and we can
Right.
select them. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We're not spending that money yet, right?
We'll probably have to do a call in for June. I mean, we'll have to get it together quickly because the June market.
So we need to make a motion on
Uh-huh.
spending this money. Okay. Apply for grant. Right, so if we're gonna do that, we have to.
So I'd make a motion to go ahead and support the 2 artists per market, for the, application or event fee
Let's,
and what did we
we're
say?
just paying for the booth fee, right?
Yeah, so if it's not the block party, it's $50.
Right.
So for the event fee and then,
The artist for the, licensing fee, that's on them. Is that, yep, so.
So 50 for markets and 100 for the block.
Which totals out to be $600 for the events that we have so far. 100 for each of the events, and then 200 for the.
And then food for the block party, which is 100, yep, per event fee.
Okay, will you do that motion again? Well, no, because you guys are starting to talk about
I know,
fees
I
and
know.
we want to make
Yeah,
sure.
okay, I would go ahead then and motion to, support 2 artists per market, $50 per event fee, except for the block party where it's $100 per event fee. And so, I don't know how many markets, but the first one's in June, so
Total is 600.
600 total, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed?
She did the hard work.
Okay. So we need to put that applications. April's gonna be busy.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. And we're not doing chalk artist? Or
Do we need
I'm
a
not
motion on
supportive of
that?
it.
I don't think we need a motion.
I think it'd be, like, if she needs help finding a chalk artist, I think we can give her some, like, if we have people.
We could offer to do a call. I don't know that on our list, there's any chalk artists, to be
Okay.
honest. That would be a new search
We
for
had
us.
them before. I don't know if we still, have the people that, because we used to sponsor one like every year.
I can go back and look at the database, but having looked at it a fair amount recently, I don't remember anybody being a direct chalk artist, but a lot of people don't always mark what they do. Like there's a lot of people that say drawing on there who might be chalk artists, or
True.
painting who might be chalk artists, but what they mark for us may not match.
Could we maybe just send out an email to our group and say, hey, if you're interested, they're interested in you?
Cool.
And we would just offer to do that for her. That way we don't have a ton of
Wait,
time
what-
or effort into that.
What do you think, Reese? Yeah,
All right.
I mean, we could.
Yeah, I'd probably just make sure she's cool with us doing that
Yeah.
because
and
she's
just-
gonna need to fund it first.
Yeah, so, yeah, I can follow up with her if that, yeah, and see if she wants that.
And if it is something she wants to do, just send me the verbiage.
Okay.
Then I'll have communications.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Moving on to upcoming events, Tony.
Awesome. Thank you. So my first question was, I wasn't 100% sure. So if you guys were gonna be at Celebrate Inglewood, or wanted representation, at it, I wanted just to make sure to have a space and have stuff there for you all. If you don't, I mean, not necessarily having an activity or anything, but like for CAC, to have a booth or at minimum to be represented at. So I just wasn't sure where that stood, but I wanted.
Is that the truck event?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. I have a 4-year-old. He's talked about it.
You're gonna
all
set the
year.
booth, do you wanna do a booth?
I'd sit at the booth for a little while.
It's 10 to 2.
It's 10 to 2,
Oh, yeah, I can be
and we'll have your
On a
table, we can
Saturday.
do the tablecloth and put your banner up and stuff like that. And if you guys want to have any information out of, you definitely can. But I would love to have you there because you guys do so much for the city. So celebrating Inglewood,
May 6th, right?
May 6th.
Yeah, I can be there.
It will not be in town.
And then the other thing that I wanted to chat about and ask about. So we are looking at, we're working with the EDDA and trying to really spunk up some things for the summer, especially in activating the circle area. So one of the things that we are looking at doing is a happy hour that is going to take place before each of the summer concerts. So it would be on the Thursdays in July, which are the same nights of the summer concerts. It would be a happy hour from, maybe like 3:30 to 5:30 because the concerts start at 6. And so I was wondering if you all would consider helping me with music for the happy hours. Just again, real short, we could even do an hour like we do or the 2 hours like we do for the markets, or we could do a shorter time, but just a solo artist, maybe cellist or guitarist or something, just something fun for that short period, because then the concerts start at 6 each.
Is there like a food truck or is there gonna be another draw during that happy hour time?
Yeah, so there'll be alcohol, which is
That brings the crowd.
a nice crowd pleaser. And then we'll have the food truck that is coming for the concert. And so I could ask them if they wanted to also extend their time to be, because food trucks are easy because they'll be in the same place basically. The happy hour will kind of happen on the grassy area where the fountain is. And then of course the concerts happen in the amphitheater area, but the food trucks are kind of going to be staying in the same place. So we can either have a different food truck because they just roll up and roll out. But there will be food available, which is, and it will probably be a festival permit for the happy hour. And then Pirate Youth Sports and Breckenridge are the alcohol for the concert.
And how many concerts are there?
4.
4. Martin, I didn't put the concerts, yeah, that's an interesting idea for music. The other thing I was gonna tell you is, I know we've talked about it in the past, but if you wanted to do any music for neighborhood nights. Cause there are several of those around the different neighborhoods, and I don't know if those are planned already or not, but I know in the past, the music's planned for them.
Oh, not music. I think meant like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, because normally what do we do $1,000 for music?
The budget is
2,000 for
that,
music.
Yeah. And I usually ask for duos.
Yeah,
And kind of divide it out. So it's like, we do usually, in the past, I planned for 5 events, basically 400 each event.
mm-hmm.
So this thing, I think we could probably still do it with solo artists. I just try to pay them good. Like
Yeah.
that it's a good gig. So I don't know about the neighborhood events. We haven't budgeted for something like that. But if we did because I have 3 markets written down here. Is that still right? June, July, August, music for 3 markets. And then for 4 of those, I think we could probably. still
That's fine. I was just saying, if you wanted to mix it up and do it for different
Well,
events,
we-
then those are some other options for music.
Let me see here.
400
Oh,
times
yeah, that'd be our budget.
416. Yeah, it'd be our budget.
So I think we can all do all that, but not do the neighborhood.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't, yeah.
All right. Yeah. We have to make a motion for that.
Man, we're spending like crazy, right?
You're gonna be like July, no more meetings.
It's like we got all we set aside the money. It's
Yeah.
just like, now we're just like.
Well, I
allocating.
guess now is the time because this is when all the stuff's
Yeah.
happening.
Well, I will motion to provide music for 3 markets and 4 happy hours for a total of $2,000.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, it carries.
So, this is good because then we know exactly when everything's gonna happen and all the money's gonna be
Thank you, guys.
spent.
Yeah. Okay, I can help find artists with that. If you want.
Is it okay to keep one, artists?
Yeah, that's
living
great.
in them?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I know a lot of artists, but they all kind of do the same thing. So it's nice to like have a variety of stuff because I play, folk and bluegrass. And I know some jazz musicians and stuff. So anybody who's outside of that, I'm
The
totally.
Colorado Wind Ensemble
Oh.
wants to do something for us, and I was like, yeah, the block party is probably not the
No,
best.
that's fine. That's fine. Be cool to have. them
But maybe a
selected.
happy hour.
Yeah,
Maybe even tree lighting.
yeah, the Christmas thing happened.
Yeah, well, so people with instruments don't really want to hang out at Christmas or
Yeah.
at holiday.
You need a brass band.
It's
That's-
so cold, right, true. But
Yeah, I don't want to be outside.
at least with it being in the circle, there's room for like that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll just keep forwarding them to you,
Cool.
our booking agent, Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. Staff's choice.
All right, so I'll make an announcement for Beth regarding the library. Art exhibit, The Great Outdoors, next exhibit will officially begin tomorrow, April 6th, and the artist reception is scheduled for April 20th at 5:30 PM. And then we'll send out the flyer as well to all of you, so you have that.
I'm gonna be gone, but Kyle, will you be around?
The reception's at 5:30?
5:30,
Okay.
5:30 to 6:30.
I might actually be here.
Cool. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Commissioner's choice.
I have some news. The good news is that I am in contract on a home, which I never thought I could do on my own. The sad news is that it's in Ken Carl area because that's where I can afford to buy a home. So this will be my last meeting. But we are going to continue to be in Englewood schools and youth sports and our church community here. So we're not like totally leaving Englewood behind. But since we won't be living here, I think I turned in my resignation.
And
So-
sure,
sorry
you
to
have
lose
to come volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have to come hang out with us.
I will. Debbie said I could have the shirt anyway.
You still qualify for float night, for the volunteer night at,
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
you've served enough time. You can come
Yeah.
to the volunteer parent.
Yeah,
meeting.
volunteer appreciation.
But yeah, I am gonna miss it because I've really loved this and I was hoping to be a part of this group for years, so.
Well, sorry to lose you, but congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome.
You're leaving for a good reason. That's
Yeah. Anybody else?
Do we need like to-do lists here? So,
Sure.
is, not that, but,
We have a lot of requests for communications.
we have a lot of communications requests, yes. I want to make sure that, so we're gonna resurrect the, call for the block party. That will be kind of a big ask, and then we'll do, one mural call, right? So we have 3 murals that we'll need to kind of iron
Well,
out.
I think they need to be, I
Or-
think they all need to be done together, but they need to be separate requests because they're gonna look very different. Like,
I know.
I don't think we can get the same, like a welcome sign is gonna look so different versus like historical or community centric justice, whatever. Like, it depends on what our themes are.
Well, the mural for, I guess next month we'll know more about that, because then communications will come and, okay, we can
'Cause they
wait till
wanna-
next month for
And
that.
then they're gonna help us with the call. So depending on how, I don't know, is Lucia coming?
I think Lucy is.
Oh,
She's
perfect.
the mastermind. So, yeah, that might be, she might be able to, we can talk beforehand with her about the flyer and there might be a way to define each call. So if you're not interested in doing a welcome to Inglewood type theme, but you have kind of this cool centric mural you want to do, you can propose for that. Or if you're able to do those cool wings or whatever. So we can talk to her a little bit further to figure out if we can specify
Just
and
'cause
get what we're looking for.
Yeah, because I think we want to be clear on those requests so that we get the right artists on the, so that it looks different, but it's fun. And
Yeah, and one's gonna be on the side of Santa Fe, you know, you're gonna be up with you'll be out of the traffic, but up, so some murals may not want to be in that kind of situation, so.
But I mean, there's still an opportunity to say calling all muralists. We've have,
Sure.
City of Englewood has tons of opportunities.
That's the thing, we might do this one call and again, have enough murals for 3 years or longer that we can pick and call back and say, hey, are you still interested?
And we should use that list, the mural list that we've
Yeah.
started.
And I think Amanda will come too, which on Asana, which is our new platform, I think they can, I mean, communication is pretty good. Like they could craft the call and put, here's the current opportunities, and then put a little bit of verbiage about each one. And then when they're completing the application, they can check which one they're interested in and attach. There's
That'd be cool.
attachments.
That's perfect. Because it'll help us too when we come to voting to have different categories to vote on, you know?
I guess it's on everybody's to-do list to vote for median art.
Median art, yep. And then I can get the music organized. And then, well, we need to do the call for the grants.
Oh yeah, call for grants.
Grants, that's right.
So is that something that communications puts together, the verbiage, or should I put together something and then send it to Debbie to send to communications?
They
It might,
want-
yeah, it might help to have you put something together and then send it and then we'll tweak it to make it work.
Okay.
That's
They
helpful
always
to know.
want some type of verbiage sent to them.
Okay.
Makes it a lot easier for them.
And regarding the mural call, I don't know if we have time to wait till next month because for the murals in Mason jars. So we need to decide that.
We,
That one right away, right?
didn't we decide, we motioned,
We
yes.
motion we spend the money, but we need to put that call out.
Oh, the call up. So do we need a motion to?
Because we need to vote on we need to vote on the call next time or see the call for the meeting, right? Do we have to vote on the call?
I think we can get more information from Lindsay and Felt of what they want and then send the verbiage to Debbie, right?
That's how I would
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So I'll follow up with Lindsay then about what verbiage and what type of things her and Felt are looking for. Right?
Okay.
As well,
Yeah, the
You go notify-
size of mural will be.
Yeah.
yeah, and do you all notify Lindsay or who's responsible for notifying her on that we awarded her money? Does it matter? If I let her know?
Should come from the chair, but I mean, you
Yeah,
could
chair,
designate, yeah, you guys can work together and.
Or if you guys are going to email together.
Okay,
Or
That's
would you
good.
talk to her?
That's fine.
okay, just want to make sure I know that from that. Like,
All right, Anything else? All right, let's adjourn. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Great meeting.
Wow.
It's Chelsea. Okay. It's still recording.
We can all, you know where, when and where we meet, so if you ever just want to pop in and hear what's going